Hi, everyone. Tom Dillery with Navia Benefit Solutions. So happy to have you on board with us today. We're excited to start this broadcast and go over some of the benefits of your flexible spending accounts and how to maximize those benefits. Now, a couple of ground rules. We have everybody is on mute. We suggest that you send questions over the questions tab of the GoToMeeting webinar. At some point, I might unmute to let people provide some verbal questions. However, sometimes if we have you able to talk during the presentation, we get a lot of feedback and people's cats meowing and stuff like that. So, hope y'all are having a great day today. It was quite rainy on Sunday over in Kirkland area, so that was quite interesting. So if you can't hear me, send a little message over in the questions tab or the questions tab preferably, and just let me know that you can't hear me. This is being recorded, so if you miss something, you will you'll be able to watch it later. Why I do these webinars? Let me show you this guy. He's a cutie. He's one of my 7 grandkids, and the reason I do these webinars is to educate people about the tax savings that can accrue and the benefits that can accrue by participating in the flexible spending accounts. We'll go over some of the things that are on your mind, such as, why would I participate? How do I track my balances? How do I set up an online account with Navia? Um, how can you save more if your spouse participates in a healthcare flexible spending account? How to avoid underclaiming, examples of daycare expenses, um, how to estimate your contributions, how do you uh, how do you use your card and why you should want to retain receipts. So those are the topics that we'll cover along with other things. I'll try to do a little demo of our participant portal here at the end if we have time. Naturally, go ahead and send questions through the questions tab. Hopefully you're able to see, but most importantly, hear me and then see my presentation. So it looks like in my audience view, it shows that you're seeing our main screen there. So I'm going to go ahead and start the webinar, or at least start the slides. So what is a flexible spending account? A flexible spending account is sponsored by your employer, the city of Seattle. It allows you to redirect money from your salary into an account that is never taxed. You're not going to pay taxes on that money. And then you use that money to pay for eligible expenses for yourself, your spouse, and any of your other tax dependents and eligible dependents. It's generally a use it or lose it program. However, the healthcare flexible spending account has a $600 rollover from 2025 to 2026. So you can leave up to $640 in the account, and that will automatically roll over to the subsequent plan year. Okay, so why are FSAs out there and why should I participate? Well, it eliminates the taxes, as I mentioned. You can eliminate the Social Security tax of 7.65%. You eliminate the federal income tax, depends upon your bracket, of 10 to 37%. That depends upon your bracket how much you save. So an example is, let's say you've got $100 paycheck for $100. 7.7 dollars and 65 cents of that money goes to Social Security. $25 approximately goes to federal income tax. Again, that's based upon your tax bracket. So your net pay, your take-home pay that you can have money to spend for your living expenses, totals about $65.35. Okay, so with an FSA, if you're using a flexible spending account, if you have $100 paycheck, you don't pay taxes on that money. You don't pay the federal income tax nor the Social Security tax. Your net pay is $100. So you may have some deductions for other things like a 401k or your medical insurance, but you don't pay those taxes on that money. Now, the differences between the healthcare FSA and the daycare FSA, they're both use it or lose it. Healthcare FSA has the $640 carryover feature in 2026 from 2025 into 2026. It's pre-funded. So from day one, whatever your election amount was is available to you. So your starting balance is whatever your election amount is for the healthcare flexible spending account. That's pretty cool. Now remember, you contribute to the healthcare, you contribute to flexible spending accounts with a deduction in your salary. You redirect part of your salary into those accounts. Okay, so but when you elect, let's say you elect $1,000 for the healthcare FSA, that $1,000 is available day one of the plan, regardless of whether you have put in any money or not. So far. So that's a real neat thing. And then you, with the healthcare FSA, you use your card or you can put in a claim. Now, daycare FSA is also a use it or lose it. There is no carryover feature. It's not pre-funded. It works just like a bank account. So if you've got $1 in the account, you can spend $1. You can't spend $2. Okay, you can put in a claim for $2, but and we'll remember that we owe you an extra $1 when you make your next contribution. You don't use the Navia card for the daycare. You submit claims. So that's how the daycare works, and those are the differences. With healthcare FSA, you can save about $900 a year if you do the maximum, contribute the maximum. The healthcare FSA covers, again, as I mentioned, yourself, your spouse, and any eligible tax dependent. So that is whose medical, dental, and vision expenses you can pay for. Now, let's say your spouse works for a different organization. They can contribute to the maximum at their organization. So they can participate in their flexible spending account and healthcare flexible spending account, and they can spend money on your expenses and other family members, and they can contribute to the max as well as you can contribute to the maximum. So that's really kind of cool. Daycare is a little different. It's $5,000 maximum between both parties. Okay, so if you're just listening in, go ahead and if you have questions, everybody's on mute. Go ahead and put your questions in the questions tab of the GoToMeeting toolbar, and we'll get to those questions as we go. I'll try to unmute everybody, toward the end to take a couple verbal questions, if it allows me to do that. Sometimes the program doesn't allow me to do that. And then I'll also do a little demo of our participant portal too, if you stay with us. Lots of ways to spend your money. What I want to highlight here is co-pays and co-insurance and deductibles you can spend your healthcare FSA money on co-pays and deductibles and co-insurance. And that's for yourself, your spouse, and any of your dependents, any of your tax dependents, okay, or people that are eligible, like children up to age 26, for example. Orthodontia, that's a really big ticket item that people use their flexible spending accounts for quite heavily. Glasses and contacts, chiropractic, acupuncture, naturopathy, massage, sunscreen, as long as it's SPF 15 and above, personal protective equipment like masks, hand sanitizer, over-the-counter drugs. So are you taking allergy medicine? This is allergy season, okay? I'm starting to feel a little congested myself. My daughter was sneezing up a storm. So if you take Allegra, things like that, other over-the-counter drugs, those are eligible to use your FSA money on. Okay, bandages, night guards. If you grind your teeth, I grind my teeth, so it would pay for a night guard. Physical therapy, acupuncture, massage, I mentioned those. Lots of different categories. One that people forget or don't know about is that if you drive to the doctor's office, you can keep track of your mileage, and that is an eligible expense. So the IRS was allowing a reimbursement of about 21 cents a mile a couple years ago. Sometimes it fluctuates. The IRS indicates an amount that's reimbursable for a particular year. So why not get 20 cents a mile or whatever they're allowing reimbursement for? You simply put in a claim to Navia and you'll get reimbursed for that. You'll get paid for that. Go to our website and look up the eligible expenses. We have a program on there. Also, there's a link directly to the FSA store, and they have a lot of eligible items as well, and you can order from the FSA store directly. All right, daycare. Let's talk a little bit about daycare. You can spend up to save up to $1,500. Children, whose care are we talking about? Children age 12 and under. You know, your children age 12 and under. Your spouse or other tax dependents who cannot self-care. So maybe you've got a parent living with you at home, and they're an eligible deduction on your tax return. Go ahead and use those guys. Use your daycare funds for care for those folks. My sister was going to work. She put my dad into daycare when she went to work. That's an eligible expense. Okay. Again, just a reminder: put your questions in the questions tab of the GoToMeeting toolbar, and we'll tackle those. Ways to spend your daycare dollars: care for an eligible person, nanny or au pair, those are all right. Before and after school care, day camps, no overnight camps. So if you send your kid to Camp Orkyla up in the San Juans, that's not eligible because that's overnight. But day camps, like okay, a lot of people are out this week or next week for spring break. If you put your child in a camp, then that's an eligible expense. Preschool, elder care, Kinside. We have a relationship with a company called Kinside, and you can vet daycare centers around your area. You can search by zip code. If you're moving to another area, you can find out what child care is available in that area, get a sense of costs, get a sense of their licensing, their inspection records, and things like that. So that's pretty cool. And again, eligible expenses, you can check on our website. We have a tax calculator on the website. You can look up, you can kind of get an idea of how much your medical expenses might be, daycare, and other expenses that are, if you're participating in particular programs. So you put in your dollar amount for, let's say, general medical care, vision care, dental orthodontia, preventative care, prescriptions and medical supplies, specialty care like chiropractic, massage. What it's trying to do is help you remember what potentially is eligible, and then you put a percentage on that as far as your tax savings. My recommendation, during open enrollment, you're eligible to, pick an amount. My suggestion is, if you're first starting out with flexible spending account, 80%, add up all your expenses and maybe do 80%, until you become comfortable with how these programs work. So figure out what your expenses are, maybe do 80%. And that's kind of how you figure things out, how you determine how much you want to put into one of these flexible spending accounts. To register, to check your balances, you want to register for an online account with Navia, and also you are registering. What you're doing is you're being able to unlock the My Navia smartphone app as well. So you do want to register on the Navia account. I'll show you that in a minute. But CS1 is the 3-character employer code. CS1 is the 3-character employer code for City of Seattle. And you'll fill out some information, and then we'll send you an email. You'll pick a username, we'll send you an email, and then you'll pick once we've approved your account, once we know that you're participating, then we're going to send you a confirming email where you pick a password. Okay. The account home page, once you log into your account, you can change your address, check your balances and things like that. You can submit claims. You can manage the debit card, the Navia debit card we give you. You can request additional cards for family members. Excuse me while I take a sip. So lots of things you can do with the online account. You can change your information, so please keep your address updated. If the Navia card doesn't, if let's say you're in daycare, participating in the dependent care, the daycare program, you submit claims for that. Okay, so when you submit claims, we'll reimburse you, and then we'll send a check made out to you to the address we have on file. So keep your address up to date. Also, you might sign up for direct deposit. That's the fastest way to get your money. So in that personal section over there where you can see Cody Cook and the test navigators, he's working for the test navigators. That's where you change your information. You can change your security settings and change your email preferences, etc. Okay, so you have access to the MyNavia smartphone app. You can submit claims there. You can submit claims online at our website once you log in. But a lot of people use the Navia card for the healthcare flexible spending accounts. So you don't do both at the same time. If you use the card, and the card swipe is successful, excuse me, you don't want to put in a claim for that same item. Again, the Navia Benefits card is for the healthcare FSA only, and it's used at you can use it at Safeway and QFC, that type of thing. If you have all your groceries and you're buying Band-Aids and other eligible items, just run everything through the checkout, and use your Navia card first before you use your personal cards. Use your Navia card first, and generally, because the vendors, those organizations subscribe to a particular service that identifies FSA eligible items, use a Navia card first, and it'll pay for what it thinks it can pay for, and then use your personal checking account or cash or your personal credit card to pay for the rest. So you don't have to necessarily separate the items at the counter. How do you know if something's eligible? Well, again, go to our website, and there's a great program that you can look up for daycare, childcare, what's eligible, what's not eligible. Or in the case of healthcare FSA, what needs a letter of medical necessity. So some things for the healthcare FSA, like vitamin D, for example. Vitamin D is not covered typically unless it's used to cure, cure a medical condition. And so you'd need a letter of medical necessity for that. If you look at your receipts, if you go to Safeway and Walgreens, those kinds of places, if you look at the bottom of your receipt, you actually can see some of the things they highlight as eligible for the healthcare FSA. So again, use your FSA card first to try to pay for something, and in many cases it will pay for those things like Band-Aids and over-the-counter medication. Okay, if you think something's eligible and the card didn't work for that, go ahead and submit a claim. Okay, be sure, that's why you want to keep your receipts in case you need to submit something. But also, these are part of your taxes. These are considered part of your 1040, because you're eliminating taxes. If the IRS comes back and says, well, what were you were participating in the FSA, where are your receipts? So please keep track of your receipts and hold them for as long as you hold your 1040 tax information. Okay, ways to claim. You can use the Navia smartphone app called MyNavia. It's available for Android and iPhone. Online at Navia Benefits, claims at naviabenefits.com. You can email, scan and email a receipt and put in a manual claim. Manual claims can be downloaded from our website, so you you can fill that out, scan it, and email a claim over to us. You can fax a claim. You can put it in the mail, U.S. Post Office. And then we have the Flex Connect program, which City of Seattle is participating in, and that's for healthcare FSA only. So that the neat thing about that is that you can download from your insurance company's website your explanation of benefits, and then the ones that we think are eligible for reimbursement are highlighted, and or there's a green rectangle. You click that and it submits a claim to Navia. It's pretty easy. I ran across a gentleman once at a benefits fair, and he said that he doesn't put in any claims over the year. He doesn't use the card. He simply waits until the end of the year and uses Flex Connect to put in all his claims. He likens it to a savings account. So that's pretty cool. Let's go on. How long do I have to file a claim? For City of Seattle, you have 90 days after the end of the plan year. Again, go ahead. I don't see any questions yet, but if you have questions, go ahead and throw them in the questions tab of the GoToMeeting toolbar, and we'll get to those. And I'll try to unmute everybody here in just a second to see if anybody has some verbal information they want to share. The FSAs are use it or lose it, but the healthcare FSA has that $640 carryover from 2025 to 2026. There is a minimum carryover amount. You have to have at least $120 in order for it to carry over, because the City of Seattle doesn't want to pay administrative fees on small amounts, I'm sure. Got a lot of education resources on our website. And if you have questions, we certainly have contact information on our website as well. So at this point in time, let me go ahead and do a little bit of demonstrating. So this is our website, naviabenefits.com. And so there's information about different things that we administer. There's the Learn tab, which is kind of neat because we have a blog. We have the Navia Benefits Academy, where you can go for, let me click that. I'm going to show you something here. You can say, I'm an employee. And you can scroll down and you can sign up for a benefit education webinar. Those are in general webinars. What we're doing today is something that's specific to the City of Seattle. Benefit education resources. Determine your contributions. Remember, I said you can calculate what your tax savings might be and how much maybe you want to contribute, maybe do 80% of that. This is where you'd go for that on the right. In the center column, you have benefit education resources. I'm going to click that and scroll down. You can watch a video on the healthcare FSA. You can watch a video on the daycare FSA. There's a healthcare FSA guide. So you've got brochures, you've got benefit contribution limits. Over on the right, in the bottom right, you can see a help center. It's a teal circle with a question mark, and I can type in what are the contribution limits for 2025. And then I type that, and it will show me appropriate articles or articles that it thinks or have high relevance. And benefit contributions looks pretty interesting. So I click that, and I've got my 2025 limits here, 3,300 for the 2025 healthcare FSA. And so that's in general. Those are the IRS limits, particularly. Specifically. So let's go to, if you haven't signed up for an online account, here's where you register. You click register, and you indicate you're a participant, and then you fill out the information. And then you pick 3 security questions. You answer pick those answers, and then agree to the terms and conditions, and you submit that. Then you'll get an email confirming that, yeah, you're eligible. Once you get pick a username, you pick a password. Then after you've picked your username, then you're going to click log in, take me to the participant portal, and then you're going to see a screen similar to this. My benefits, these are going to be benefits that are specific to you. So this is a demo account, so we've got a lot of things in there, but the benefits that you're participating in are listed there. You can view additional tools, such as you can submit a claim, you can you can check on your recurring claims. So again, like you're doing orthodontia once a month, paying a $100 bill once a month, you've set that up to be automatic. You don't have to manually claim each month. You can check on your recurring claims there. What are my denied claims? Do I want to shop in the FSA store? Do I want to change my direct pay? Maybe I've set things up for direct pay into my checking or savings account. I can access Flex Connect here. And resources, forms, and documents, that's where you go to download the manual claim form. So if you have a neighbor babysitting your child and you want to use your FSA dollars for that, go into forms and documents, print out the manual claim form, have them sign it, that they've rendered the care, and then submit that as a claim. Shop the FSA store is on the right. That's where you can purchase if you need to spend money at the end of the year. That's where you go to that. Let's go down to the healthcare FSA. So if you click on this button, on this ribbon, you'll get a list of all transactions in your, that have happened to that particular account. You can go here to submit a claim. I can click submit a claim. I'm going to click go, and then I can add an item to this claim. It's going to be my healthcare FSA claim, or it's going to be a healthcare FSA claim. I choose the information I want to upload, and I've got a sample doctor's invoice here. So I've already scanned it into the computer. So here it is, it's uploaded, and I click next. I click healthcare FSA, select a service, it's general healthcare, service date start. Okay, so I'm still in this demo program, I'm still kind of in 2024. So I'm going to click August 1st of 2024 is the start date of that claim, and August 1st of 2024 is the end date of that particular claim. My provider was Dr. Jones. It's for me, and the amount is $30, just as an example. I could type in a little bit of information here if I wanted the person reviewing the claim to to have additional information. And then I'm finished. And okay, so I put in a claim earlier this morning just to check that things were working out. So apparently it remembers that. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So that's how you submit a claim here with the Navia online system, and you can do a claim on the with your smartphone app as well. So let me see if I can unmute everybody. If you have questions, either throw them in the questions tab, or let's see if I can unmute everybody here. Okay, so it looks like attendees, hopefully you can. Let's see if I can. Okay, I do have some questions in the questions tab. Let me go there. I did not enroll in the healthcare FSA. Can I enroll after submitting my benefit election? You can only enroll during open enrollment, or if you have a change in family status, like birth, death, marriage, divorce, adoption of a child. So I encourage you to check with your benefits folks to see if any of that has occurred, and you need to do that within a specific time period. So check with your benefits folks to see if you're eligible to start in the middle of the plan year. Generally, we have open enrollment season, which is where you get to choose. And one of the complaints I hear all the time is, Tom, I forgot to sign up this year and I missed the window. So generally, you have a window for open enrollment. And uh, so if you missed open enrollment, you can only get in or change your amounts if you have a change in either insurance, if we're talking healthcare, or a change in your family's status: birth, death, marriage, divorce, adoption of a child. So check with your benefits folks. If you've had a Navia account with a previous employer, can you use the same account, or do you have to create a new one? Oh, that's a good question. I don't feel comfortable answering that one. That's a little more technical than I get into. Can we get reimbursed for the copay? Absolutely. If you you can also use your Navia card for a copay at the, for example, at the at your doctor's office. You go to the doctor's office, and they've got a $10 copay or $25 copay. Go ahead and swipe the Navia card, and it should pay for it. If you did not swipe it at the time you were at the doctor's office, go ahead and get a receipt, send that into Navia, put in a claim to Navia, and you'll get reimbursed for that. So yes, copay, deductibles, coinsurance, anything that's medically necessary, that the IRS deems medically necessary for medical, dental, and vision expenses. So don't forget your eyeglasses. Prescription eyeglasses are eligible. What about my children's copay? Yes, if they are an eligible, an eligible person, so they're your tax dependent, or they're, up to age 26 or what have you. Yes, if they're eligible, yes, you can pay your children's copay with your flexible spending account. Now, some folks have kids in college and they're away from home, and naturally, as a helicopter parent like I am, I felt reassured that one of my kids had a Navia benefits card when they needed to go to the doctor. So yes, you can actually get a card for one of your kids that are in college. You can get an extra card for your spouse. Those are not at any additional cost. Can we increase our HSA or FSA contribution mid-year? Okay, so remember, we're talking flexible spending accounts. We're not talking HSA accounts. That's not the purview of this particular session. We're talking flexible spending accounts. You can only change your flexible spending account contribution if you have a valid change in a qualifying event is what they call it. So change in family status, or a change in your insurance coverage, etc. Let's see, other questions. So yes, your spouse can participate in the healthcare FSA at their own organization up to the maximum amount that organization allows. So sometimes each company sets the maximum amount that someone can contribute to the healthcare flexible spending account. So the maximum might be different, but they can participate to the maximum as well. So that kind of doubles your fun in terms of tax savings. Let's see, are there any other questions? I'm going to try, I haven't heard anybody, so I'm going to see if I can maybe do another, try to unmute here. Okay, I've clicked the button to unmute everybody, but it doesn't seem to be taking effect here. Let's see. Let's see if we have any other questions. I think we've covered most of the things I wanted to cover. We did we did the little demo, and the only thing I can do perhaps is to go back up to the Learn tab, and there is a blog, so you can check on our blog. The resource library has some good information. Yeah, so again, if you want to attend another webinar, which is more general in nature, there's how to sign up over here. And then I do encourage you to do the benefit education resources. And that should about cover what we wanted to cover today. I don't see anything that we missed out on. You want to keep your receipts because those are documents for 1040 purposes. Even though you really don't have to do anything with them, just keep your receipts for 3 years or however long the IRS wants you to keep those. Anyway, we'll hopefully we don't have as much rain today in the Seattle area, but again, we appreciate everybody's participation and everybody's interest, and we thank you guys at the City of Seattle are doing a wonderful job and an excellent job, and we really appreciate everything that you do for the citizens of the area. And that includes everybody that's outside of the city limits too. So that includes us over in Kirkland. So again, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate all your questions, and thanks for your attendance. We'll let y'all get back to work. Thank you very much.